Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the CBL X's and O's podcast for season 2023. It's grand final time, and I've got Reese Handwriting joining me today so we can discuss and preview Gippsland and its grand finals. And we're in for a show this weekend, Reese. We've got 4 different associations competing. It's going to be packed.
Yeah, it's always the best last game of the season, right? Grand finals, history making stuff, and really just a great time for Gippsland basketball. Going into Christmas and everything like that, and look, can't be more excited for both of these matchups. I think they're going to be absolute crackers.
Let's start off Saturday night, 5:15 p.m. at Cardinia Life in Pakenham sees the Currumbara Wildcats taking on the Wonthaggi Coasters in the women. As you mentioned earlier in the week in the review, Battle of South Gippsland. This is going to be an epic showdown.
How impressive is it to have two teams from the same region in Gippsland, play off for the grand final for Gippsland. I think it's great. They've both had really great seasons. They've both produced form and fell and got back up again. And, really, it's going to be awesome. I think this matchup, and Currumbara obviously have a lot of experience playing in these type of games, and Wonthaggi also as well. With a lot of their players being a part of those squads in the last championships for both. And look, they met earlier in the year, in the season, should I say, and Currumbara only got on top by 8 points, in a low scoring affair under 60 points each. So, look, I think it's going to come down to who can score the most, but also who can keep the other ones quiet. So I think it's going to be a matter of who plays defense and who can put the ball in the basket the most. And look, it's one of those things. I like both of these teams. Have been great to review and preview for all season, and I'm feeling towards the Wildcats to get the W here, but it won't come without an absolute fight from Wonthaggi. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. But yeah, I'm backing in the Wildcats women for this one, Matt.
And then at 8 p.m., it's the men's time to tip off. And this game is between the undefeated Moe Meteors, and they take on the Traralgon T-Birds, who have only had 2 losses for the season, one of them against Moe very early in the season. And, the teams have changed since these two teams met in round 2 or 3, I believe it was.
Yeah, well, that's right. I guess the biggest in, from earlier this season has Ben Waller for Traralgon. He obviously provides a bit of a scoring punch as well as versatility on the other end. But look, that last time the guys played, it was fireworks. This game was really decided in the third quarter last time. And being 2 games in, 2 or 3 games in for either of them, that everyone was still trying to get their feet wet. And, this is going to be a cracker. Obviously Traralgon men coming off back-to-back, championships. So they've got a lot of guys there that are ready for that and, going to be great assets for that game. And obviously Moe are on fire, right? They've won 11 straight now. And I think 11 or 10. And, look, it's Austin Shelley is going to be a key part. Portbury is going to be a key part, but they're also the other guys around them like Van Dyke and O'Brien and Vanessa Fur have been really great this season. So there's firepower on both sides. There's so many people who can just go off for 20, 30 points. So it's going to come down to the wire, but if we're looking back on history and what's been as recent, I think the Traralgon men are going to hold a bit of advantage here, even though Moe are undefeated. I think just coming off 2 back-to-backs and only a real minor change in the lineup from last time the guys have played in those important games, I think, Traralgon men will try and get their revenge and make it for a 3-peat.
That's it. That's the 2 grand finals that we're previewing for the Gippsland Conference this weekend. The question is are we going to be crowning 2 back-to-back champions, or are we going to have new champions in the Gippsland Conference? That's the exciting question that we're not going to have an answer to until Saturday post the game. So I look forward to jumping on a call with you next week, Reese, when we get to review these grand finals. But for now, 5:15, 8 p.m. Cardinia Life is the place to be this Saturday night when we get to see these epic Gippsland grand finals. And for our fans who have been with us along the way, make sure we pack the stands out, grab your ticket so you don't miss out. It's going to be a spectacular weekend of basketball at Cardinia Life. So good luck to all teams, and I'll catch you next week when we get to review these spectacular grand finals.